All right, so these guys I actually have all cleaned up. They should be really nice and ready to go. They might still be a little wet though, so I definitely can't glue them yet. I just took them and washed them with some nice soapy water. Get any possible release agent from the resin casting process off, so that when we do want to go paint them and glue them together, they'll actually stick together. All right, so next, based on our instructions here, um, as we get all this and once these are glued together, we'll be able to kind of test fit, dry fit to make sure that as anything's drying, um, all these pieces are ready and we can dry fit, make sure that it's all going to kind of glue together where we want it. But it really seems more like it's about the orientation of the lower leg than anything. Like the feet really can only go on in one way. So it looks like next we're dealing with the waist, the thighs, the hips, and the lower legs. So let's find those pieces. All right, so it looks like I think the waist, yep, is right there. I think that's the waist. Yeah, one waist. GW1. Some of the parts are actually not numbered correctly, so I can't worry about the number too much. It's relatively obvious when you have the right piece. So, actually funny, because what is this guy? That is definitely not the hips, but 3. Oh, I wonder if that's the, like, neck piece, head piece. Well, not based on that. Based on this, that looks like number 7. Well, I don't know. It's in there somewhere. It's a lot easier most of the time based on the picture. Oddly enough, some of the numbering is off. All right, let's take a look here. I see hip connectors in here. Yep. 7. Well, this says it's 77. It should be 75. Let's see what the other one says. I think also 77. So seems like that may not be numbered correctly, but that's okay. It's really the only piece that looks like that. There you go. Come on, nice and gentle. There's a little bit of flash on some of these pieces. Not too much, though. It actually looks really nice. Alright, let's find. Looks like that's all weapon parts. And there's leg parts. Definitely at least lower leg. And lower leg. Then what else do we have here? Nothing that we need at the moment. Nope. No upper leg. Gotta be one of these two. Looks like some upper leg. Upper thigh. It says number 9. Yep, that's the right thigh. Number 5 should be number 8. But that's definitely it. So we're good with that. All right. A lot of really nice casts. All right, so we've got all of that. So we have, that's a nice piece, both of our upper thighs, both of the lower thighs. Looks like those are the same left to right. I don't see any difference. So those will be interchangeable, left to right. And then the hip connectors, let's see, so that'll go like that with the key down, right into the key. Alright, it sits in pretty nice. But then you'll have flexibility going into the ball joint of the hip, or the waist. And then that one goes into this side. And this thing really is intended to be rigid, not posable at all. The legs probably make sense to be that way. Upper body, not so much. We're definitely going to have the torso and everything magnetized. So I'm going to need a pretty heavy-duty magnet to replace this ball joint, because I'm betting that the torso is going to be quite heavy. Alright, so let's see. Let's get our little saw here. We'll start getting some of this resin cut off. Should be able to cut it right at the edge. No matter what, that part would either be completely hidden, or most likely it's actually going to be completely removed to make room for a magnet. This part we might be able to see, so we'll cut up to start with. We found a little box to use just for all the resin cutoffs. Alright, that's going to take where to put my file. There it is. I was cleaning up a little before because I picked up a new cutting mat that's underneath this nasty painted one. But it's too shiny. It actually has like a almost sticky surface to it, which would be really good for certain types of projects. But for me, for this, the shine on it is not a good thing. It made it really not work on the video because my lights were just totally shining back. All right, what are we gonna do here? I shouldn't really worry too much about this. This whole chunk right here is gonna end up getting removed for the magnets. I just don't know how much of it's getting removed. So the obsession is to just make it perfect first, and then cut it off later. And like I was saying, even if I weren't going to remove all of this, it would be completely covered once the body halves are placed together. But that would be crazy, in my opinion, to spend as much as people spend on these models and not actually go the extra mile to make it like way cooler. That is a subjective opinion, though. There we go. All right, still not quite there. You probably won't be able to see this really very well when everything's done, but since the body will be magnetized and could be separated, this could be visible. So, it really just seems like there's a bit of a bulge right here where the sprue connected. Oh, it's pretty good. Sorry if I just smacked the microphone there. I'm not used to that. Alright, that's pretty good. Might need a little bit more. Some of these giant chunks, though. Let's see. That is going to end up being totally exposed. So I do want to cut this back a little bit here. I may need to get a slightly heavier saw. This has got a pretty good tooth pattern, which is good, and I don't want to get too crazy and kick up a whole bunch of dust, because this stuff's not real healthy. Should be wearing a mask, but that's crazy talk. Alright, this one will slot into the foot, so the bottom of this will never be seen. I did see that Vimeo has a 2-hour limit to length of a video. I really hope I don't do full 2-hour videos. I think shorter chunks are a bit more digestible. Let's see. I may be able to pop those off a little more easily. Alright, now, let's see. Well, this is probably the best file I've got. Unless, let's see, I think this is going to be not quite enough. Not too bad. On resin, these real soft files, not quite enough at first. They're great for finish, but Just not taking off enough. So these little metal files are really good at kind of the initial stage. They're not good for fine finish work. Well, unless, of course, you're actually doing metal work, then they're great. They're a little aggressive for finish work on plastic, though. Yep, barely feel that. My stick sanders here may need to be replaced. Getting a little smooth wearing out the sandpaper. That feels real nice. I think you'll still see it with primer on it, though. But down here, the seam line, definitely not good. Some of this we may just need to scrape. I don't know if this will scrape quite as nicely as standard plastic. I got a seam going all the way there. Well, we'll see. Some of this may end up just being better to fill, because this is going to be exposed, and we want that to be really smooth. If I can... It's getting better. I like the big flat of this far more than the little skinny metal one, because it conforms to the surface far better. There we go. Now we're starting to get something. A little more right there. Well, you can tell as you're sanding, right, this darker line should go away. I know how well that can be seen on camera there. Right, if there's like a dark line, let's see if I can get it to focus there. Maybe not. A little too close for it to focus. But once, as I sand across that line, once both sides are actually level, that line should almost disappear. The sanding dust off on my shorts. That's what shorts are for. It's pretty good. There's no like detectable edge. Your eye is really good at catching the light, though, so if there is anything, once it's primed, we'll see. But then a little sanding and priming should help fill in any little tiny imperfections that might be there. Alright, so it's just going to be a whole bunch more of that until all the leg pieces are done, and then once the leg pieces are done, I should actually be ready to glue the feet together. I don't know, I mean, I don't think it'll be completely necessary to actually record absolutely every step. I don't know. I think the whole thing's going to be pretty amazing when it's done, though. So I got to figure out how to do lighting. There's going to be, so I think, some very cool opportunities to do lighting on this guy. The weapons are going to have some kind of lighting for sure, but one of the ones I picked up as a side piece is a Gatling gun. Like I was saying in the first video, I'm trying to think about how to actually light a Gatling gun. I'm not really sure what to do with that. It'd be really cool if I could actually figure out a way. Alright, so I think that guy looks good. Definitely a difference there. Alright, nice and clean. Not so clean. But soon clean.